You have tuned in to Be the Voice podcast, where we are using our voices to shatter the silence by promoting healing from past trauma, aiming for victorious living, and uplifting the work to improve our communities. It's time to be informed, encouraged, and empowered with your favorite host, Dee Marie. Well, good evening and welcome to Be the Voice podcast, where we are here to shatter the silence by promoting healing from past trauma, aiming for victorious living, and uplifting those that are doing the work in the community. And I'm your host, Dee Marie. And we are back with another amazing episode. I got my co-host in the house tonight.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
You know how we do it. We always got something great that we're going to talk about. And we're always so excited to come on and just to bring quality content. So I was thinking about our last podcast, but we'll get into that in a second. Before we get started, Be the Voice podcast is actually brought to you by Voices Magazine. And Voices Magazine is an online magazine that is tailored to the voices of sexual abuse survivors. So the magazine features stories from survivors that are actually now living their life positively and they are thriving. Well, they are moving towards thriving. And you will find a counselor's corner, healthy living, tips and safety, fashion and beauty, and we spotlight organizations that are doing the work in the community. And if you are looking to get the magazine, you can go to vocesmagazine.com, and it is free, and you can get your subscription, you can read it. And even though you might be thinking, well, I'm not really a survivor, so it's not for me, I beg to differ. It is for everybody because you will be so informed, encouraged, and empowered. So let's get started with tonight. So we're so excited to be back. We have a topic that I was telling my co-host, LaTanya, that I wanted to talk about, and that was imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, and I think we all suffer from imposter syndrome. So when I told you about that, did you even know what it was for real?
I did not. I have heard the term before, but I never really went in depth with it to figure out what it was. So yeah, this is new for me.
Yeah. Oh, actually, before we get started, welcome to our new studio. We're so excited. Oh, I didn't turn my on air light on, so we're gonna do that, y'all. Because it's not plugged in. Okay, we're not gonna do that tonight.
Hey, it's just real and real. We
are real. We real. But so back to what we're talking about, imposter syndrome. So I thought about it because, we're always talking about things where we can be better.
Right.
Because one thing, I always try to be better than yesterday. So
absolutely,
if I can do one step that's going to get me better than I was the day before, then I'm doing great.
Right.
So imposter syndrome. So that is when, and I suffer from this a lot, I believe. So it's like when you are doing a good job, or you can perform highly with something, or you do have the ability, but for whatever reason in your mind, you are inadequate, or you're not, you don't think you can do it.
Right.
It's like, because I thought imposter syndrome was something like you were faking who you were.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I first heard that term, I thought it meant that you were trying to be something that you're not.
You know what though? If you think about it, it is kind of because you're fake to yourself.
Yeah. Oh, now that's good. It's
not about, and when we think imposter, we automatically think that we're imposters and we're trying to portray something else to someone else.
Right.
But imposter turns it back on us, where we think we're imposters for ourselves. We're faking it for ourselves. And it's not that anybody else think we are. We think we are. It's internal.
Yeah. Excuse me. I think I do that a lot too, because, well, first of all, I'm an overthinker.
Oh my God.
I know
overthink.
I am. If you look up overthinking in the dictionary, you gonna see.
And then you're going to see mine on part 2.
I overthink to death.
I do.
I overthink so much. So I think and I want to talk about this because I actually do suffer from imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I always question everything that I do. I don't think I'm doing it right. It's like, and I just overthink it.
Right.
And it's like, why do I do that?
And when I looked I Googled it, real quick.
Look, Google.
It says that most women are the ones who suffer from imposter syndrome. And so if we think about it from back in the day till now, I can see why we would, because we were trained to be feminine and ladylike. And then the way society is set up now, we have to be hustlers and hard workers and raise our kids perfectly and work and bring in the money and pay the bills. And so when we don't get a chance to be healthy mentally and emotionally, and we have all of that going on, and we have to hide behind that so we can show the world that we got it all together. It's no wonder that half of us suffer from feeling like we're imposters.
Yeah. And also too, I think that again with that, I think sometimes even when and if we want to talk about women, because women we wear so many different hats.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
And I think in our minds, and I could speak for myself, doing so much, it's like something is I'm failing at something.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And you might be doing, and you're not going to do everything perfectly.
No.
I mean, you're not going to do that. But we just wear so many hats and we do so many things. And I think I used to be like, well, I'm not doing, even as a mom, you know, growing up when my kids were growing up, I look back and yes, I made mistakes, but you know, that was a rough time. And it was like, I'm not doing this right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing this right. I'm doing this wrong, and just always felt like I wasn't being the perfect mom. But that goes into comparison too, because you see other people who quote unquote are perfect moms, but there is no such thing.
No, there's no such thing as a perfect mom. And then we have to live up to a standard that's set for us that we can't live up to. And when we try to reach it, and it's not that anybody is looking at us, we're trying to reach it ourselves. And when we see ourselves falling short of what the standard is, that's unrealistic in most cases, then we feel like we're not doing everything that we should, or I messed up. And
you're right. And that's good. And I think too, now that you said that, I think a lot of it is like we will suffer from that because again, we're going by society standards and we're going by to what should be perfect or what we look at. Even, you know, and I always talk about weight. Yeah, no, I always go to weight.
I was thinking the same thing when it came to weight. I was thinking the same thing.
Hey, I need to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight. So I'm
Don't
go
we
weight.
all?
Right. But if you look at TV, you look at and even like videos, not that we have it's not a lot of videos that anymore, but just social media or just whatever, we look at what is supposedly normal or sexy or attractive,
right?
And then we are trying to live up to that standard. Absolutely. And then we fall short and now we feel inadequate,
right?
And it's not that you're inadequate, because one thing that you can do if you want to lose weight, you lose weight,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So you're still the beautiful person inside, but I think because we try to live up to these standards, sometimes we feel like that we are not who we think. I guess we don't see how God sees us,
right?
We're looking on like, oh well, look at them, they're doing this and I'm not that. I can't do that, and that's just not true.
I mean, but if you look at everything that set your beauty standards, as far as us as Black women, our melanin skin standards, our hair, because the way society is set up, you got to have all this long flowing hair and so many wigs and stuff is going around. Natural hair is finally coming back on the scene,
right?
But when you compare yourself, and then let's go back to weight. If we look at weight and what is said, like what we see, some of us is never going to live up to that standard because our body is just not made that way. And we have not learned to embrace the fact that, you know what, I'm not that person.
All these women are getting these BBLs.
Oh my goodness.
Baby, look, I don't need to get no BBL.
Not at all. I got enough to spread around for everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
I got enough BBL. I don't need nothing extra. But women are doing that. So really, I mean, skinny is not necessarily the standard anymore because women want big behinds. But again, it's just that they're wanting what they see.
Absolutely.
And I'm okay. And if you want to get something done with your body, go ahead. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I would love to get a little bit of work done myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's all good. But what I'm saying is you still got to love who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think sometimes it gets where it's like an addiction and then they keep going.
And I was just going to say, you keep enhancing and changing and you're never satisfied, but you looking at the outward the outside to validate you.
Right.
And I think at the end, imposter syndrome is about validation. And we have to learn how to validate ourselves. We're looking for the world to validate us, to make us feel worthy, but they never can until we feel worthy on the inside.
You got to feel worthy on the inside. And, you know, even if you think so, my thing too is if you have a gift, and because we're born with gifts, we're born with talents.
Absolutely.
Okay. They're just God given. We just have those things. So if you have a gift, so I went to this past weekend. Oh, I got to tell you about my weekend. So this past weekend, I did something so crazy. Well, it wasn't crazy. It was just something I just did. Mm-hmm. So I went to New York for one day. Okay. I went to New York and on Saturday came right back Sunday. Well, I went to Black Entrepreneurs Day at the Apollo Theater. So it was my very first time at the Apollo Theater. It was just amazing. It was amazing. So while I was there, so the guests were Whoopi Goldberg. So it was hosted by Damon John, who is with Shark Tank. Mm-hmm. We all know Damon John, the founder of FUBU. And Whoopi Goldberg was on there. Anthony Anderson, Cedric the Entertainer. Flavor Flav was in the house too. He was so funny, but he was in the house. Mm-hmm. But one thing Whoopi said that really stuck out to me is she was saying that, you know, don't be afraid to fail. She said, we're all going to fail, especially when you're, sorry guys, especially if you're doing something that, whatever you're doing. She said, you're not going to always get it right. Right. She was like, so if you do fail, it's okay. She said, it's okay to fail, but just keep trying and just keep doing it and keep at it and perfect your craft. Right. But I think sometimes we don't feel like if we fail, we feel like that's it. Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, I can't do that because I failed. Right. And that's not true.
No, that it's not true. And the thing is, we talk ourselves out of so many things thinking we're not capable of doing them. Right. And we have to realize that we don't know we're capable until we actually jump out there and do it.
And my thing is, if it's a gift that you have, I mean, it's a gift. Can't nobody take that away from you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to be ready to, or just continue to work at it and perfect your craft. Right.
And you know what? A lot of times we don't know what we're capable of until we get out there and do it. Okay. If it's a dream of yours to at least try, what's going to hurt if you try it? What's going to hurt? Either you succeed or you don't. And if you don't, guess what? You can always start over.
You can always start over. You can change it up and go another direction. You can always do that.
We are so scared to fail.
Yeah.
And we are so scared to mess up. Yeah. And realize that, you know what? I tried it.
Yep.
I think we need to learn how to live our lives saying that, you know what? I tried everything that I wanted to. And guess what? Some things work, some things didn't. And it's okay.
Yes, and it's okay. And I think Damon John said that too. He said he tried a lot of things, and a lot of it didn't even work.
Right.
You know, he was like, he didn't succeed at everything.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think Cedric the Entertainer said that as well. Yes, they might be, you know, celebrities or whatever. They was like, but they tried it and some things just didn't work.
Right.
You know.
So look, while you talking about something you did this weekend, I have friends who always tell me that I can model. I do not see myself as a model, but I have a friend who say you can wear any hairstyle, any look, you can do that. Yeah. And then of course, when you see models, they tall, they thin, long, pretty hair. I'm none of the above. Mm-hmm. I'm a plus size woman, you know. So I said, you know what? Hey, I'm going to try it and see what happens. I filled out the application. I went in, called me in for an interview. I went in for that. They said it was going to do a callback if they was interested at 11:55. On Monday, because they said it's gonna call Monday between 11 and 12.
So at 11:54,
I was like, okay, well, they wasn't interested.
Right.
At 11:55, the lady called me back and said they want to represent me. Okay. And I was like, oh my goodness. Wow.
See what I'm saying? And you went out there and you did
and I just did it.
Yeah.
And if it happened, it's wonderful. If not, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. We have to learn how to stop talking to ourselves critically.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm like you. I'm a horrible overthinker. And I would talk myself. When I got through, I did it. I did it wrong. I messed it up. I didn't have the whole scenario and I've already convicted myself. Before I even attempted to do anything, I've already got the scenario set up and it's already gone wrong.
See, that's what I'm saying.
We have to learn how to quiet our own voices.
Ooh.
When we learn how to quiet our own voice, or you know what, learn how to do things in spite of.
Yep. Just keep pushing, even through the voices. When you're like, you can't do this, girl. I talk to myself like, girl, yes, you can.
Right.
Like, stop it, D. Just stop it. You can do this.
Right.
Just push through.
And you know what? It's fear.
It is
because we have been trained to fear, and we have to learn how to push past the fear and walk in it regardless.
And you got to do it uncomfortably.
Absolutely.
Because when I went to New York, I went by myself. I was meeting some people because I'm a part of the New York Association of Black Journalists, and I was meeting some people there. Mm-hmm. I didn't know them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm here in St. Louis, but I was like, I'm going to do it. And I went and did it.
Right.
And I mean, I was nervous because for me, that was something big because yes, I've traveled solo before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I never traveled to New York solo because I always was nervous about doing that because it's New York.
Right.
And I love New York. It's my favorite place. But I did it. And it was something that I stepped out. I was nervous. I overthought everything.
Right.
I was like, when I get to the hotel, it's going to be in a bad neighborhood. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm going to be scared to get in the Uber by myself. When I say it was seamless.
Right.
I was like the airplane. I mean, I overthought the entire trip.
Absolutely.
And it was seamless. And as a matter of fact, I made connections, met some amazing people, had a great time. It was the best time.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm saying all this to say, sometimes you just got to step out,
right,
even in the midst of imposter syndrome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what? And my thing is, during the last couple of years, if we haven't learned anything else, is we've learned we have got to live.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole COVID, pandemic, we were shut in. And then we've had so many people pass and people leaving this earth. Yeah. It's time to live.
It's time to live.
We can't let anything hold us back, even ourselves. Because a lot of times it ain't other people holding us back. We're the ones holding us back.
Imposter syndrome.
And we allow society, we allow family, we allow work, co-workers, whatever it is, mostly ourselves, to hinder us from doing certain things. Yeah. And we never know the blessings that God have for us if we don't move. Yeah. We have got to move.
But we gotta believe in ourselves too. And think highly of ourselves.
Right.
Now, don't think so highly of yourself that you think you're better than anybody, but think highly of yourself. And I think sometimes, again, we just feel like certain jobs, certain positions, certain places like that we should not be, because in our minds we are not the ones to be there.
Right.
And that is so false.
It is. That's the whole narrative of us being unworthy to do certain things.
Yeah.
We have to learn how to know that I'm worthy. I have confidence, and I'm going to walk into it. And you know what the thing is? Confidence don't automatically come, and we sit around waiting for, I'm gonna wait till I get the confidence and do stuff.
Right.
I'm gonna wait till the fear goes away, and then I'm gonna do it.
Right.
Sometimes you just gotta do it, and you gain confidence as you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you walk into those things, in spite of fear, it's as you go, those things come or they leave. You know. And so we sitting around waiting for us to do better, or waiting for things to get better. Sometimes things just not gonna get better. You just have to go and do it in spite of.
You may not have the applause. You may not have anybody backing you up or supporting you.
Absolutely.
People might say, girl, and they have good intentions. You know, it's just that they don't feel like they can do it themselves, so they don't think you can too. They have good intentions. The intentions is, well, I don't want you to step out there and get hurt. But I say, you know, sometimes you just got to take a chance and you got to take a risk. I mean, that is what life is. I mean, you're going to take a risk. Some things are going to work out and some things are not.
Right.
But you got to believe in yourself and build that confidence and know that it's okay. So if there's something you want to do that is not going to harm you, but it's something positive and you're scared to do it, just try it.
Right. What's going to hurt? It's going to happen or it's not.
Yep.
And if it doesn't, that just means, okay, right now, maybe I went around it the wrong way. Maybe I need to change to how I do it and try it a different way. But you never know anything unless you get out there and try.
Because one thing, though, and I think I posted this, you can start over as many times
as you need to.
And it's okay.
We are so scared to fail and think we can't start over. Please know you can begin again.
Yeah. That's good. Begin again.
You can begin again.
Past tonight, begin again.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
And don't allow age to stop you.
Oh my
because
gosh.
we think
Now
that because
that
we
one,
get a
oh
certain
my
age
God.
that we should have done all these things. My journey is not her journey. It's not the next person's journey. And it wasn't meant for me to happen then at that time. But guess what? I'm not there yet.
Exactly.
I'm not there
I
yet.
do that sometimes. I think, well, I'm going to be 50. Maybe I'm too old to try and do this, or maybe I shouldn't do that. But no. And also, too, I want to say, one thing my oldest son kind of taught me too is start connecting with people.
Right.
Start making those connections. And don't be afraid to gain a new skill.
Right.
You know, it's okay to take a class. Mm-hmm. It's okay to take an online webinar, to connect with people who are doing things that you want to do, to get some insight on what they're doing, to shadow. Like, these are things that you can do.
Right.
And it's just preparing you to go to that next level.
One thing my pastor always says is that we should be lifelong learners.
Yeah, I think you said that.
Always be in the stage to always learn something.
Yeah.
Always be ready to learn something, whatever it is. It could be crocheting, but you learning something. So you should always, but that just keeps your mind open to the possibilities when I'm forever open to learning something new.
Right. And not be afraid to, again, meet new people.
Absolutely.
And not be afraid to go, like, if you're by yourself, you say, well, I want to go to this networking event or whatever it is, but I'm afraid to go because I'm by myself. Just go.
Right.
Because it's going to be somebody there probably feeling the same way you are. So just go.
And you never know. A lot of what we need comes from somebody else.
It does. Because we all need each other to work together.
We shouldn't be an island unto ourselves.
That's right.
Because if I'm on an island by myself, I don't have everything I need on my island.
That's right.
But if I connect with somebody on their island, then guess what? It's something there I have that I need, that they need. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't get the words right.
But I know what you're saying. But you know what? It's good you said that, because even when I started this podcast, like, I was doing it by myself. Right. But then I was like, well, I brought you in. I'm like, oh, that works. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I didn't even think of, like, the shirts. Anita Almer, shout out to Anita.
Absolutely.
Whoop, whoop. She made these shirts.
Right.
Like, I was like, girl, you branded me. Like, I didn't even think of that, but she actually branded me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like, we need each other.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing I learned too this weekend, is how we need each other to do these things. You know, but a lot of times we are scared to even ask for help.
Right.
I'm bumping my lip onto the mic. To even ask for help, because, again, sometimes I think we're scared. We're scared to ask. We're scared to, because we feel like we're bothering them.
Right.
Or, you know, it's like, no, y'all, we got to get out of that.
We have got to.
Get away from that.
Yes. We got to networking and connections and building relationships. That's what it's about. Building relationships.
Yeah.
Because we not, you know, God didn't even bring us here. He didn't want us to be alone. So he built relationships when he built Adam and Eve.
That's right.
And that's what he wants us. He wants us to have a relationship with each other and a relationship with him.
Yeah.
So that we can get to what we need.
Yeah. That is very important too, to build those relationships, because you just never know who you're going to need, when you're going to need them, you know, or anything. I mean,
absolutely.
We have to get out of that bubble of just me.
Right.
Because I do find myself doing that, because a lot of times I feel like, well, I'll just do it because I know what I'm doing, and I'll just do it because I can do it. No one else is going to do it like I do.
Right.
But the truth is, you're going to have to delegate.
Right.
Because what happens is you end up being I don't know the same, but you're doing everything. But because you're doing everything, there's something that's going to lack.
Something's missing.
Yeah.
And then other people have ideas that you haven't even thought of. And you need to be able to grab hold to those ideas to implement them.
Yes. And I think a lot of times everyone is trying to be the chief, and not, what is it, the chief and
there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Right. And it's like, we gotta be okay with, today I might be in the back.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like, if you don't know how to follow, then you definitely don't know how to lead.
You cannot.
Yep.
And then here's my thing. People think leading means that I'm just telling people what to do. But actually a leader is a server.
Yes.
So if I'm leading, I'm serving.
Yes.
So leading is not always a position for everybody. It's okay to be in the background sometimes until it's your time to shine.
And you can lead in the back as well.
You can.
Yeah. You can. Yeah, you sure can.
Yeah.
But we just got to know know our position, and be okay with that, but be the best, whatever that position is, and just perfect that. Because that's where your gift is.
Right.
Your gift might be in a serving or helping someone with their business or doing this or whatever. That it might be in the background, but you still can lead from there.
And then we need all of those pieces for everything to run together. That's just like your body. I need my leg bone to be connected to my knee bone so that I can walk.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't have a leg bone but not a foot. What I'm doing, I'm not doing anything. So everything, every joint, every bone, it connects together.
Yeah, it does.
And so it serves this purpose. And that's just like us working together. Somebody has what I need. So our connections, they need each other to work and be successful at everything.
Right. And it's so funny. Like we've done all this talking. So we need to be out here just doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Right. As two Black women, and not be afraid to get out here and do what we know our gift is. Like your gift is singing. You do sing. Yeah, she sings. We actually might do a concert one podcast.
And no.
You know what? We might do a
look. I'm gonna do what my I'm gonna do what my granddaughter do all the time and sing.
Maybe we.
I know some singers we can bring on, and they will sing and blow this whole place out. Now I know some people.
Maybe we could do something.
Oh Lord,
look, my wheels turning now.
We doing too much.
Imposter syndrome don't have it. So now my wheels turning now. So we might do something like that. But I don't even know how I got onto that. I don't forget what I was talking about before that. But back to being who you are created to be, who God called you to be.
And stop setting so high standards for ourselves.
Yeah.
And allowing ourselves to mess up.
Because first I was thinking, but you got to set high standards. But I know what you're saying. Like, it's like, because if you get this too high and if you don't meet it, then you're like.
It's not about not having high standards. We want them, but celebrate the small ones that help you get to where you need to go. Yeah. We always reaching for the big goal and don't celebrate the little goals. We have to learn how to celebrate the little goals that's going to get us to the overall goals.
Yeah.
So we have to learn how to set those little goals and know, okay, I want to be up here, but the first thing is I got to be organized better. Right. That's my first goal. Right. I got to learn how to type a paper. That's the goal. Yeah. And then celebrate when those things come and realize it takes baby steps. It's a process.
Yeah. So, okay. That's funny because I'm a visionary. So I can see, so I know what the end results. I can see the end results. My problem is taking the steps to get to those results.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can see, like we had our walks. I can see the walk. I can see the people. I can see all of that. Now, for me to get to that is I need help.
Right.
Because I'm not a tedious type of person. You know what I'm saying? I need people who are gifted in the legwork.
Right.
Who are gifted in the paperwork, in the registration, in this, in that. And I had an entire team that helped with that because I knew my lane.
Right.
And that is not my lane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But there are people that are gifted in those things.
Yes.
And it's always good to work with people in that.
Right.
And that's another thing too. If you're going to work with people and if you're going to be a leader, you're not being demanding and being mean and all of that stuff. You appreciate the people because guess what? They don't have to help you.
They do not.
You know what I'm saying? But appreciate the people that come alongside of you.
Absolutely.
And that are helping you in this journey.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You have to. You have to. In anything that you're doing, because it's better if we all work together than if somebody trying to be the big boss and being demanding and being a dictator and doing this or whatever, then the people won't enjoy what they do.
At all.
You know, because whatever your position is, you should be able to enjoy it.
Right.
And I think too, also, sometimes we'll have people in our lives that are above us, you know, like a leader for us or whatever. And they may talk down to you or may treat you, or it could be anybody in your life. It could be your parents, it could be whatever.
Right.
That could cause you to not believe
in yourself.
They could have killed your dreams.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Could have killed your what you thought that you could do and killed those ideas. And then now you're settling for what you think you should do, when reality is you are gifted to do something
so
else.
Much more. Yes.
And I think that probably happens as well.
That's why I always tell people, know your circle. Know who the people are that are attached to you. Because sometimes for some people you have to move in silence.
You do.
You can't tell everybody everything. But you know the ones that's going to encourage you, or who's going to give you honest feedback.
Right.
Because you want somebody that's going to deliver the honest feedback, but also help you achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Right. And too, though, I think if it comes to like, because some people could grow up in those environments.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Where somebody is just constantly talking down to you and telling you how terrible you are or whatever. Then you grow up thinking those things, which really, that's not really who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you get rid of those things? And that's when we're going to bring back up counseling.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? You
absolutely.
really need to go to counseling, go to therapy or whatever to get that stinking
change
thinking.
Your mindset.
Change your mindset. Because those things tag along with you.
Right.
And you grow up and you believe those things.
And put yourselves in different environments.
You
have to experience different things.
But I think too, some people don't even know.
And that's a problem. People don't know that anything is wrong with what they're in. And so I don't know what you do in that situation.
Right, when you don't know.
Yeah. Until you get around something that changes you or opens you up to it.
Yes. So I will say, okay, so I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Yes, she is. Yes, she
Baby,
is.
I done it all. Mary Kay, Sole Purpose. Insurance. You name it, I done it. Okay.
Yes.
Because I think there was just something inside of me that I knew it was there. I just didn't know what it was.
Right.
Oh my goodness, I said all this to say, baby, that 50-year-old brain ain't no joke.
You're not even 50 yet.
I'm close. 49 headed to 50. I don't even remember what my point was. That's a shame. We was talking about the people that don't know.
They don't know.
And then I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I don't even know where I was going with that.
I don't know if you don't know. I don't know.
Oh my God, I'm cracking up. I don't even remember.
Right.
But back to what we were saying. This is gonna drive me crazy now until I remember what I was saying, but it totally slipped my mind. But back to being all that you could be, like the army.
Right.
You gotta know, like, don't be afraid of your gifts. And I know we were talking about people who are brought up in environments where they're not told that they can do. And I think that comes to when we say, how would they know that they can do that? If we actually speak life into people.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, I know where I was going. Sorry, it came back. Because you saying get around people that, okay, so I didn't know I was a serial entrepreneur. I didn't know I was even want to be an entrepreneur until I met Brenda Hampton.
Oh, yeah.
So I met Brenda Hampton. If you guys don't know who Brenda Hampton is, she's an author here in St. Louis. She is an amazing, amazing person. And I met her when I worked at this insurance company. Well, I guess it was an insurance company, but it was years ago that I had worked for. And I met her because she came to do like some sort of presentation or something. And when I met her, we just connected.
Right.
Just connected. And she said, I don't know what it is about you. So we're going to be doing some things together. Now, we didn't actually do things like big, things together, but we stayed connected. And she is the one that allowed me to see the gifts that were inside of me.
Right.
It was like she opened my eyes to it. And then as, time went on, I started realizing that there was more inside of me than what I even knew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm forever grateful to her for that because I didn't know.
Right.
I didn't know that I could, now we got the podcast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that I could do that. But if it wasn't for her, speaking that life into me, I wouldn't have known that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think too, in order for other people to realize their gifts, we got to speak life into people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people are connected to you for a reason.
Yeah.
There's people that are drawn to you and you don't know what it is, but it's something on the inside of you that draws them.
Yep.
And it's something that you have that they need. And we have to not be afraid to be open, honest, and transparent with people.
Yeah.
Because these days, that's what people thrive on, that transparency.
Yep.
And so they want to know what makes us tick. They want to know what our strengths are, but they also want to know what the weaknesses is. And it's okay to be vulnerable, to allow people to see our weakness.
That's right.
They need to see that.
Your weakness does not make you weak.
It doesn't.
You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't. Not.
If anything, people would say, oh, wow. But she overcame that?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, oh, well, if she can do that and still thrive, so can I.
A lot of times we learn more from our weaknesses than we do from our strength.
Sure do.
We learn more from the troubles and stuff that we have than we do from our successes.
Yeah.
That's what makes us who we are.
Yes. And that is the true person of who you are, because your character is during those times. Your true character comes out during those times that are not so great.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When you do got to struggle a little bit, or you got some issues or stuff going on or whatever, that's when your true character comes out, and that is who you really are.
Absolutely. And it's okay to face it.
Yeah.
It's okay for us to know our own weaknesses.
Yes.
We need to know those. What your strengths are. I need to know what my weaknesses are too. So those are things I want to work on to help me be better.
Yep. And I think sometimes we look at those things and don't want to face them, because those are the things that we think that is making us inadequate.
Absolutely.
In actuality, if you face it, and if there's something that you feel like you need to work on, then that is going to make you even stronger.
And not only that, it's making people look at you be like, wow, she working on that thing that could take her down. If she can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah.
People need to see those.
Yeah.
That's what draws people.
Yeah. And we just got to get out of that. And so to me, when I think of imposter syndrome, I think of stinking thinking. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, but it may go deeper than just that, that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do know that all of us, at some point in our lives, we suffer from imposter syndrome.
I agree.
I don't care how, on social media, you look like the most confident person or like you got it going on. There are still some things that inside of us we question.
Right.
There are things that we don't think that we can do or whatever. And sometimes you'll surprise yourself. Mm-hmm. So one thing that I do, and this is real small, but I do it because I'm afraid to do it. So I'm afraid of deep water. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm afraid of deep water because I don't know if you remember, we were little and we went swimming. We was taking lessons. We were taking lessons in Redmond.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
North County Recreation Center, Redmond. And we were like, what, 6, 5, or 6? I don't know. We were young.
Yeah.
But I remember, and okay, this is from like a 6-year-old mind. I don't remember exactly what happened. But as I think back, this is what I think what happened. We were in deep water. Excuse me. And I jumped in the water, but I don't remember being able to come back up. Oh. Now I wasn't out of breath or nothing, but the instructor came and got me back up. And ever since, I've been scared of deep water.
Okay.
So to this day, I'm still scared of deep water. But what I do when I swim, I force myself to swim in deep water.
Right.
So that way I can kind of overcome that fear.
Okay.
So I still haven't totally overcome the fear, but every time I go swimming, I always go to the deep water and I make myself swim.
Right.
Now I'm not a great swimmer, but I can tread water and I can swim and all of that a little bit. But I swim across the deep water. Sometimes I stay close to the edge, but I make myself do that because I want to overcome that. Now I don't jump in. I don't get on no diving board or nothing like that. But I face that fear.
Right. We have to learn how to face our fears.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy thing because I know I get anxious and get anxiety, but it's just forcing ourselves to get past those emotional feelings, to work past that emotion.
Yeah.
It's baby steps.
It is definitely baby steps. Just don't think like one day you're going to wake up and like, oh, I can do everything.
No, not at all. Not at all. It may not even be able to do everything all at once. You may not be able to go all the way in a deep water, but guess what? I can get close to it. Today I'm close to it. Tomorrow I might be able to put a toe in it. But those are things that we celebrate because it's a process.
Yeah.
It's those baby steps, those things that help us continue to get better and better and better and braver and braver.
Yes. And I think once you do those things and you realize I'm this step closer, or I'm this step better than I was yesterday, then it's like, okay. And you start feeling even better about whatever that thing is, or just yourself, period.
Right. I think if I was to leave this conversation, the one thing I would say is that I want to be better today than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And whatever that means to whoever it is, it's just about being a little better today than I was yesterday. And then tomorrow I'm gonna be a little better than I am today.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And even if it's just thinking a little better.
Yep. Yes. No, that's the key right there. I think that is the key to a lot of it.
Right.
Is to get rid of that. It's the thinking. It's a mindset.
It's the thinking. It is. And that's the whole purpose, the whole point of imposter syndrome is the mind, because it's an internal thing. Yeah. If we internally change our mind, the way we think, and then we can celebrate those successes that everybody else see that we have problems seeing in ourselves.
Oh, and that's another thing too, is because you just said it. Some people can see things in us that we don't even see in ourselves.
Absolutely.
And then when they see those things in us, you can't even accept the compliment.
Right. Absolutely.
Or you can't even accept what they're saying because in your mind, you just don't think you are that person.
Right.
Just say thank you.
Yes.
Somebody told me that. Somebody, it was Kyrie, she said something to me and I was like, oh, she said, just say thank you.
I'm so bad at that.
I was like, okay,
just
you're
the
right.
Simplest thing somebody told me, oh, your toes are pretty. I was like, no, they need to be redone. He said, just say thank you. I was like, okay, thank you.
Right. We can't even accept the compliment.
Right. Absolutely.
Just say thank you. Someone gives you a compliment, just say thank you.
Right.
Well, I don't know why that is so hard, but sometimes it is hard.
It is.
I'm like, oh, well, it's just, and it's like, D, just say thank you.
Right.
You know?
It's because you already see the imperfection.
Yes.
And I feel like now I have to announce it because it's not perfect, even though to them it looks just fine.
Right. And you don't have to announce it.
And you don't. You are not obligated to tell anybody anything.
Right.
The only thing that you need to say is thank you.
Yes.
That's it.
You do not have to announce your
You don't have to. That's right there. You don't have to announce your imperfections.
That's right. Because I'm guilty of it.
I am too. Absolutely guilty of it.
Somebody says something, I bring up something negative. Why? I don't know why I do that.
Right.
Imposter syndrome.
That's exactly what that is.
Exactly what it is.
And I think we all suffer from it, especially us as women, especially us as Black women.
Yeah.
We really do, because we're
almost like
critiqued.
you're like apologizing for the compliments.
Yes.
And it's like,
yes. And
why?
You don't have to. Why even do
to.
it? Just say thank you.
Yes, you don't.
And
have
it's
to.
okay.
And it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. So no, this is a good conversation. I'm glad I thought of this because I know that I suffer from it.
Right.
And I want to get past it because sometimes I think with that, I don't always take what I do seriously.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know the gifts and I know the assignments and things that I have, but sometimes I'll look at others and say, oh, they're doing great. And I root everybody on. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't take my own stuff seriously enough like I should.
Right.
And I think that is because sometimes in my mind, it's like, oh, this is just me.
Right. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not just me. It's me.
Right.
It's D. Marie. You know what I'm saying? Like I am just as important as the next person.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and this is something that I have to get over that struggle.
Right.
You know,
we have to learn that people, like you say, see in us what we don't see, and what we think is not doing great or wonderful. Somebody's like, what you have, somebody needs it.
That's right.
I know I teach a lot, and I had said, I'm tired. I'm thinking about stop teaching, and somebody told me, said, Tanya, don't stop. And she said, because you are an excellent teacher and we need you. Yeah. We need what you have. That's and to me, it's like, I'm just Tanya. It's nothing. It's no big deal. It's just me.
But you have something
absolutely that draws people.
No, you can't stop teaching because you're going to be facilitating the support groups. So we need you for that.
I'm all in.
Right. See, like she's great at like small groups. Where I'm better with crowds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're good with crowds too, so I can't say that.
I do okay.
Yeah, but But
look, there I go, imposter syndrome.
Right. Because my comfort zone is more with crowds than it is with small groups.
Right. Yeah, and I teach more smaller groups.
Yeah. So, you guys, we're going to do this. We're going to get better every day. We're going to stop apologizing for the compliments and just say thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to see ourselves as God sees us.
Absolutely.
He made us with these gifts. He made us with these abilities on purpose. He did it on purpose because there are things that we have that other people need.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Even if we don't see it,
somebody else
does, and they need that.
Right.
So we're gonna get over this imposter syndrome. We're gonna love who we are. We're going to face our weaknesses.
Yes.
And
work on making them better.
Yeah.
And work on being a better version of ourselves every day.
Perfection.
No.
It's progression.
Perfect. That's right.
So that's it. Yeah. Not perfection, just progression.
Absolutely.
Just better than you were the day before.
Absolutely.
The day before. I think that's all we got for y'all tonight.
That's it. That's all.
And we will see you next week.
Next week.